Thank you very much. I'm not going to keep you much longer. I'm going to hand over to Cllr Ruth Patterson, who will then give us our speech for today. Ruth.
Everybody, it is absolutely wonderful to be here with you today. Believe it or not, it is a year since my arrest on the 2nd of August last year. It's hard to believe that a year has gone by so quickly and so much has happened within that year. But we as a Protestant people are still standing proud. And as I said on the 20th of December, when my court case came to an end, we are unbowed, we are unbroken, and we are 100% united in loyalty to our King and our country. So folks, I'll just start into the speech. It's a terrible day, but it is wonderful to see you all here this afternoon. Loyalists, bandsmen and brethren, it is an honour and a privilege to stand before you all here today. However, this honour is overshadowed by the honour and the privilege it has been to stand amongst you. Whether it be at City Hall, on the Newton Arts Road, Cumber, Portadown, Armagh, Woodvale Avenue, or here on the Woodvale Road. It has been wonderful just to stand with you. You are the people who knew something was very, very wrong in Northern Ireland. The people who knew it was down to you and you alone to do something. In this group of people, I have found a spirit of resistance that the state thought they had crushed. They thought that the misuse of the legal system and the misrepresentation of the Protestant Unionist loyalist community in the media would be enough to shame us into shutting up. How wrong were they? As you can see, we are very much alive and well. It is clear that a tremendous effort has been put into combating our protests. I point to the one-sided press coverage. I point to the disproportionate police response on every occasion. I point to the misuse of the law and the criminal justice system that persecutes Protestants while effectively granting pardons to members of the Irish Republican Army. When I hear the letters DPP, I am unsure of whether they mean Department of Providing Pardons or the Department of Prosecuting Protestants. The only certainty in the letters DPP is that it is not fit for purpose as a Department of Public Prosecution. Like so many of you, I too faced draconian bail conditions for a trumped-up charge that had nothing to do with law and order, but had everything to do with shutting me up. Well, I have a message. Anyone that would attempt to gag me while I breathe, you will not silence me, or any other Protestant. I will challenge inaccuracies where I find them. I will fight you in the courts and in government bodies, and I will never, ever surrender. As for my union flag, if you want it, you can take it from me after you prize it out of my dead, cold fingers. I note that when other sinister groups threaten to bring thousands out onto the streets, the Police Service of Northern Ireland seem not to notice. However, the unelected quango that is the Parades Commission not only notices but takes action. The constant refusal to allow the Orange Order and bands to walk the streets of this country reminds me of something else. There is another country where it was government policy to ban certain groups from certain areas. This country was South Africa, and the policy was called apartheid. At times I feel like Moses appealing to Pharaoh, let my people home. If you doubt for 1 minute that the comparison of the Protestant people to an oppressed group is valid, consider this. If a group of people go to a protest at Belfast City Hall with Union flags, they are flanked by TSG police units. They do often with CCTV highly visible, and any encroachment onto the road is met with force and arrest. Contrast that to when the Irish Congress of Trade Unions brought protesters carrying Palestinian flags to Belfast City Hall, complete with Sinn Féin members and infamous figures from the underworld present, and the number of police deployed were considerably reduced, and they were wearing normal soft day uniform. Then when these people attack a group of Protestants, perhaps because they are Protestants, perhaps because they brought Israeli flags to a Middle East peace rally, there is a deafening silence within the media, and the police fail to gather evidence or even ask for witnesses to come forward in order to prosecute the perpetrators of what can only be described as a hate crime. In 1930s Germany, the first actions against the Jews was that the police became disinterested in investigating crimes against them. It would seem that being a Protestant with an Israeli flag would be two reasons for the police not to turn their back and ignore the events. This persecution would naturally escalate to the boycotting of Israeli goods. The use of boycotts by nationalists on the Protestant business community is widely used, as is the ethnic cleansing on the border areas. However, a Sinn Féin mayor calling for the boycott of Israeli goods in an official way shows just how far they believe their dictatorship has progressed. Those that did not see this action coming are extremely naive, as were Sinn Féin when they thought such an action would be acceptable within a modern and progressive society. Shame on them. Before I close, I would like to pass on my deepest condolences to the family of Oswald Bradley. Oswald sadly drowned attempting to remove two Republic of Ireland flags and replace them with a Union flag. That Oswald would take this upon himself to attempt to rectify a hurtful situation to the whole community was typical of how he lived his life. Oswald had campaigned tirelessly for an inquest into and justice for the murdered in the Kingsmill massacre. This event has been described as a war crime, and I truly believe it would be a fitting and lasting memorial to Oswald and his family if the government were to call for an immediate inquiry into one of the most horrific atrocities carried out by the Irish Republican Army during the Troubles. There can be no peace without justice and equality is not equal until everyone has equality. This will be difficult to achieve. However, we have a long history of overcoming difficulties. Our bloodline stretches back to the first people to set foot on Ulster soil. Our ancestors built the wonder that is Newgrange around 5000 BC. We cultivated the land. We survived the Celtic invasion in 250 BC. We survived the massacre of the Protestants in 1641. Adams, Kelly, McGuinness, go read the depositions and understand that removing us simply cannot be done. You tried at Le Mans, Enniskillen, Bloody Friday, Kingsmill, the Shankill Road, and countless other atrocities during your 30-plus years of murder and slaughter on our streets. But we are still here, and we are never going away. Our colours don't run. Yes, in the short term, you can remove our rights. You can jail us. You can batter us. You can bend the rule of law to criminalise us, but you can never defeat us. We will do what the Ulster people have always done. We will adapt and overcome. We will grow in a way that you least expect. This is evolution, and this is inevitable. Strike us down if you must, but be very careful what you create. You tried to kill us, but you have failed. And that which does not kill us had better be running when we are getting up. I will say to those that oppose us that we, the Ulster Protestant people, are getting up. We will fight for justice. We will fight for equality. And we will fight for this land that we love so dearly. And we will never, ever surrender. Let them home.